Comrades, welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution. I am Admiral Andre, and I'm quite proud of myself for making a video the day after the previous one, so at least I still have it in me. Well, let's continue with Isla Matanceros and see what we can do. Alright, comrades, here we are, back on Isla Matanceros. In the last episode, we set up the whole premise of this approach to the park building on the island, and we laid down some of the basic, almost like landmarks, around which we will be able to build the rest of the park. However, I was thinking after the episode, I made a bit of a mistake with this lake, because I should have kept the lower elevation for it, and then basically the terrain would have undulated down towards the river. Right now I'm basically removing any advantage from having the hotels on a higher elevation, because now the river is also on the same elevation almost. So I think I'm going to have to undo that. So let's just get right into that. I'm just going to remove all of the water again, just so that I can lower the terrain properly. Okay, so let's have a look now. It's difficult to judge exactly how it was before, and it doesn't have to be exactly the same. But since it's going to be coming around here, it's difficult. I wish we had some form of contour lines on the map. That would be a nice guide, but we can make do without it. Let's just see. I just want to lower this a little bit. Maybe like that, and then see if we can flatten everything accordingly. I also thought a little bit more about the whole perimeter fence issue. I think in some places I won't use it, just because the idea that I had of placing a sort of an access road on the outside of the various enclosures, if you then have the fence, the road, and another fence, it's a little too, I don't know, it looks too claustrophobic. So I don't think we're going to do that in all parts of the park. So we'll see about that. Of course, we still have a way to go before then. Now in this case, I think I'm also going to remove the fences here. It looks a bit weird with the change in elevation. Just tweak things a bit. Let's just take everything out here. Okay, so at least that creates a bit more of a, I think, a realistic profile, because water would surely accumulate in the lowest parts of the park. I think we might as well just go as far as we can here. Things will be flattened further when the water is placed. How far should we go with that? We could even go right up to the village area. Now, why doesn't that... it takes a little bit of time before it makes the change in the terrain there. Let's just complete this. Case in point, takes a few seconds before it registers what I'm trying to do, and then it undoes the whole thing again. Okay, water please. Let's get some water, and the largest radius is fine, though we might need a smaller radius towards the edge here. Now what's it trying to do here? Okay, it's working, that's fine. We've received complaints about guests not being able to satisfy their thirst. Well, guess what? We're putting down a lake here, so they can always drink that water. People are so impatient these days. Could even create several islands in this, just for the sake of it. Now let's see. On a smooth, just the smallest radius, creates almost like a little bit of a bay here. No, I'm not too happy with that. It's a bit difficult because we have to keep the elevation of the path consistent, at least in this part. So we don't want the water interfering with that. Can we get a bit more water in here? Not really. Oh well, let's create a bit of an island here as well, like it was originally. but not all the way around. Right, I think that gives it a bit of a nice look to it. Now we can...
Security isn't always clean or easy, but
I might take this contract.
So look this contract over.
We're not going to be able to fulfill half a star anytime soon because the park is not open, but it will boost the security rating, which is the least at the moment, so that's maybe a good one to take. If we actually now just continue the water, it will automatically level it, so that's probably the easiest thing to do. Just along the back here. Of course, I still want to fit the fences in for the pens or the enclosures. Now here we start to get into a bit of a problem. It's not going to level the rest of it, so let me just use the flatten tool. Just see if I can find the level there. Might have to stop it there just because of the actual undulations in the terrain here. It's worse than I thought, because even now with lowering the level of the lake here, it's still way too high here in the back. But okay, then the terrain will increase in elevation towards the river. Let's just hope it never bursts its banks there. Can we continue? We can't. No. Maybe these will be the only two enclosures with parts of the river then. But okay, that just at least gives us another guideline. Now I think we can do the easy thing now and just connect the hotels to each other. Just placing the smallest possible bit of road there, just so we have something to attach to. Then I think they should probably be separate from the main roads here. You know, people don't want too much overcrowding near their hotels. So let's just see if I can make this look somewhat nice. Not at all, actually. It's very difficult to judge the paths. Actually, I have to redo that as well. Let's go back to the tool. Maybe we'll go straight for a little bit. And I'll just have to delete that again. Okay, that's better, much better. Then we'll just have one connection between the hotels and the center of the village there. Now in this case I do want to get rid of the trees, just so I can see what I'm actually doing. There we go, more habitat loss, but anyway. Just go back to the smallest fancy path here. Now connecting this is not necessarily going to be too easy, but maybe it is. I think that looks decent. I'm not too satisfied with this little curve here, but I don't want to become too OCD with this, because then we'll never get anywhere. So let's just try and rework it a little bit, and then I can delete that on the end. But now I'm not happy about that either. Okay, that works. I like that. Now what do we need here? Obviously at the hotels, I don't know if the management views will show us anything because there's no people yet, but the hotels are obviously large generators of demand for food and entertainment and all of that. And I always found it very interesting that people want to have fun on an island where the whole point is to come and see the dinosaurs. I mean, that's fun enough, but anyway. Maybe we can even begin now by placing some of our utility buildings here. I was also thinking about this and the whole access road situation. We could possibly make a way for the various jeeps and so on to force them to use those access roads. That would be possible, but of course we'll still need a road connection with the main path towards the entrance. That will make it a bit difficult. But I think let's just flatten everything here as a first step. Now see, there's more forest that I have to remove. Just get us as far as possible. I do feel bad for the parrots flying around after their nests are being destroyed. I also saw, there's a bit of road now that still survived, but I also saw some other YouTubers have found a way, I'm not sure how to do that, I'm going to try to recreate that, to have like a large paved area. So I guess it's just...
Bad things tend to happen. I'd prefer they didn't. So how about making sure your buildings have the power they need?
We're working on that. So I guess they just do that by adding several of the paths together. But I've never done that myself, so it would be interesting to see what effects we can create with that. Now I think just as much as possible of the leveling here, that's going to help us to avoid all the terrain placement errors as far as possible. Just get a little bit further here. So actually this part of the park will be the highest elevation and nobody will ever see it, at least none of the visitors. Okay, that will do. Now let's have a look. The power plant should be the furthest away from everything, even though again it has no real value or impact, I would say, on the visitors. We can just place them wherever we want, but at the end of the day, thematically I think we should play along, you know, make the thing as nice as possible. I think concrete walls will be the best here. This is sort of a, not necessarily a security area, but it certainly is a part of the park where no visitors will normally go, and obviously we want to have some level of security there. Maybe I'll even put the walls on the edge of the flat area, even though again it's going to cost us some terrain, but placement errors will prevent us from building too close anyway. Just so we have a guideline. Okay, then of course we can just put the trees back, since I can't do anything else with this land here. Also helps to make everything blend more seamlessly into the terrain. Good. See if we can fit anything there. Not really. Now, power plants. Not sure how many we'll need, but at least now I have access to the large power plants, which I didn't before when I started this map. Now, how many of these can we fit in here? Good grief, not that many, I'm afraid. Maybe they should go on the side here, but then we can't use that space anyway. Maybe we'll put a shelter there for our staff members. Okay, that's at least one. Now, let's have a look. I'm still going to put the emergency shelters and some of the storm defense buildings, even though we don't need them here. Just want to play along with the whole theme here. Okay, let me put the road down first. Now this will be the normal path, so even the cheap path. I wonder what this is made out of. Is that just a dirt path? Looks too paved for a dirt path. It's more like the first one is a gravel path and then the second one is a proper paved one. So I think at least we want to have the second one. Now, can we fit another power plant in next to this one? Profit per minute. The island needs more fun things for your guests. Well, that's not wrong. Okay, I think probably 3 power plants, possibly 2 will be enough though, because we're not really going for the electric fences. Actually, I have to build the walls here first. And electric fences really take a lot of power, so something to plan for if we ever want to use them on the later maps. Okay, now the fence is curving there, so that's going to be a bit more difficult to fit one in directly next to it. So we'll probably just follow along like that, and then connect them to each other. Now at least that gives us a bit of a guideline for the path. Now if we just connect them to each other, difficult, it just doesn't go far enough there. I have to say it's really cold this morning, good grief. It was 4 degrees earlier, that's like 39 degrees Fahrenheit. Not something we're really used to here, but there you go. Now what else can I do here? What is it that we're going to need? Let's just have a think about that before I put any paving down here. Obviously we're going to need I think the research...
Work in the past. That's why I know you are perfect for this contract.
Well, we are going to put down a viewing gallery anyway, so I might as well accept this contract. 100,000.
The more chance to increase our revenue.
Indeed, since we're not getting any revenue at the moment. Anyway, we're going to need 1 ranger station. We never really need more than that. Of course, on the larger maps, it does help to have some of them spread out over the whole terrain. But the ACU center and the rangers, I think that's it. We could have the security center here as well. I think that fits thematically. So maybe that's something we can fit in here on the end. Now, I want to get this lined up. Just using the red there as a guideline. Now, getting this perfect is impossible, so at some point you just have to surrender. You see, it doesn't matter which way I go, it's not going to line up perfectly. Oh well, so let's not bother then. Let's put it... But I do want it like that. That's close enough. No, I don't want it close enough. OCD is a problem if you're playing this game. That is really the closest I can get it, so let's just stick with that. Then put that down there. Now, obviously we'll need a large substation somewhere. Might even be able to put it right there in the corner. It depends where the operation buildings will be. Let's just have a look. So this is now the ranger station. I think we should probably put the wall up here first. Get it quite close, but not too close. And it's somewhere there we'll join it up again and then have this access path going around the back. Now what can we do here? Let's have a look. I want this to be quite nicely laid out here. Nothing in the middle there. That's going to be a paved area. So maybe we'll just put this towards the back here. But we should still leave some room for more power plants if we need them. That's going to be a bit difficult. Okay, let's put that one there. Then the path is obviously going to go past there. Can I connect this with a nice curve? Okay, that works well. Now what about the rangers? Not going to fit in there, I'm afraid. It's going to have to be here. But then I should continue flattening the terrain here and putting up the wall. You see, this is something I really appreciate of this game. You know, just to relax and just build and plan things, and you don't have to be too crazy here. Obviously when you're doing the missions and all that, things can get a little hectic, but otherwise this can be a nice relaxing game, I have to say, which is exactly what I need right now. Okay, that will do. Now where's this building? Problem is now we still have to leave room for the road there. It's not going to go any closer than that. No, I don't like that. Possibly next to this, yes, the ACU. Now, can I just line them up properly? Nope. Again, the same problem. It has just that little bit of a gap, you see. Snapping doesn't help. It just totally has its own angles. No, this stuff is nuts. Good enough, I guess. I have to cry uncle at some point. Okay, just take that one. Don't even look further. Okay, put it in there. I think I might put a nice fence in between. Just create a bit of detail work here, I suppose. Let's just get this path up and running, since this is where the rangers will park. Actually, how close can we go to that? Not too close, unfortunately. It's almost, I want the idea that they sort of just drive directly onto this road here. We could take the big one there. No, I don't want it to look like that. Yes, and then we'll connect it from there. Now let's just see if we can make this happen. Okay, that's good there. Obviously nothing close to perfect here. Wish we could place some rocks and things. That would be an interesting feature there. But now I'm just curious to see if we can create like a large paved area. No, I don't want those signposts there. How would we do this? Probably a straight road. And then another one that curves on the outer edge there. Would this work? It's looking like it might. Probably should undo this one. It might actually work. We could even leave a little space for a tree or two in the middle. But now... Actually, now I want to undo this. No, not yet. I was thinking we want to make a little island with trees and things, but this is still too close to where the rangers will be driving the whole time, so they'll just go through it. So yes, in case you haven't noticed already, this is going to be a very slow series, but at the end of the day we can look back and see all the things we've done to make this park a success. There we go, that's what I was looking for. Great, so that's exactly that. I know it's not a perfect circle and all that, it's not supposed to be. Just the sort of road area where people can drive up to all the various buildings. Now, can I get this connected properly? It's not going to make exactly the curve there that I was looking for. That'll do. And there we go. Yes, I like that. Good, good, good. Now we'll just have a main road going through there. But is there anything else that we need here? Well, some kind of a shelter, definitely. We'll pretend that it might come in use. Of course, if something escapes, it won't be the deadliest thing because we'll have no carnivores here. Could we put that in like a... just thinking of new things that we could try. Wanting to buy more merchandise. There's not enough merch on this island. We could pave around this. But now I don't want it to be too much in the way. What is that? There's a goat running around here. They've survived the purging of the map. Now it's blocking my construction there. evidence that there used to be carnivores. I suppose we'll just put it there, then pave up this part as well. Now, is there anything else that we need apart from the Storm Defense Center? I'm going to put the Science Center and the Research Center and the Fossil Center and all of that somewhere else on this map, possibly in the lower part of the secondary village or something. Not sure, because that's not really a sort of security area. So obviously people also want to come and visit the Science Center and the Security Center, but so it's not going to be too off limits here. That's alright. I don't think I want to put these things in here, even though we don't even need a Research Center and a Fossil Center and all of that. I have everything researched and unlocked already. But this space is not as big as I thought it might be. And why did I put a smaller power station here? Oh, good grief. We're definitely going to need all the power we can get. Okay, so another thing is at least fixed there. Let's see, where can we put the Storm Defense Center or station? Anywhere really, as long as it touches the buildings. Might put it right next to the ACU Center or the Ranger Center. Then the road is going to wind in a weird way, but let's try it. It would make sense, because if you're using the Ranger teams or driving along with the jeeps, they'll tell you there's a storm warning and all of that, so the Storm Defense Station here should be attached to their facility. It makes sense. Now let's continue that road there. Probably just a straight road. Okay, that's done. Connect this up like that.
Business is good, but it can...
No dinosaur fights on this island or any others, so please put that idea out of your head. Can't put it straight here, but I'm going to pave up this whole area. It's a waste of space, but I think it will look nice. Right, so I guess this is what they mean when they say paving paradise. Let me just complete this, and then we need to see where the access roads are going to be, just to help with the planning. Okay, let's remove the trees here. More deforestation, but we will put back as many as possible later. Just want to see as far, or how far we can push this area. Maybe enough room for another power station. Then this will all be on its own level here. I think so. We should probably do that. Let's just see. Should we even put the various science buildings here as well? Maybe we should. That will push it now all the way almost to the hotel. But I think it's better this way. Otherwise we're going to have to put these buildings, which are anyway utility buildings, right next to the visitor areas, or even in the visitor areas. So I'd like to avoid that. Okay, there we go. Just round this off a bit. Now this is a bit of a problem. I don't like how this looks with the fence or wall running into this ditch here. I think I'm going to delete that. Let's rebuild it. First see if we can flatten it a bit more. No, other way. It resets if you cross the boundary there. Nope, okay, so that's fine. We will hide it with trees. We'll just connect this up with the fence now. So where's a good place? Let's get rid of these trees if we can. Okay, there we can clearly see where the terrain dips in, so that's the boundary for the wall. and then it will pass right to the back of the shelter here. I still want to keep the curvature here, but I think we might just have a straight wall here. Okay, like that. That works for me. Now, how far can we go here? Let me just continue this whole wall operation. There's a bit of a problem. Actually, more deforestation here. Not possible. Not possible to flatten further either. So that's the edge of the park. Let's curve in here. Yeah, so then the access road is going to follow the outer edge of that, I think. Now, in that sense, we're going to use the cheap path. This is going to be just for the jeeps to be driving on, so they obviously don't mind what they're driving on, and the people will not be seeing that. So I'm just going to place it here just for now, so we know where that has to continue. But now, what else can we fit in here? Just get this wall done. Okay. Let's see, operations. I think that's probably best to start with that. Power plants we can always work on later. Now, science center. I have the idea of putting this maybe near a tourist area, but not the fossil zones and all of that, or fossil center. And I still want everything here, even if we don't really need it. Okay, so that's the research center, and now fossil one, if we can fit it in somewhere next door. Same problem again. That'll do. Now let's just think about this. So the paved area is going to fill up all of that. I think that'll look a bit nicer. We still need a substation. Preferably just one that will cater to everything here, but I don't know if that is possible. It'll have to be right there. And this is anyway going to be a blank area. Maybe we can fit it in right next door to the shelter. Actually, I want a fence around this as much as possible. Well, even if I curve it out like that, that's alright. Just again for the sense that this building is supposed to be there for protection, so if something does get loose, you'll have at least a little bit of a fence there. I'll put another side there as soon as the wall is finished already. Let's just get these trees out of the way so I could see what. No, it's not. No, it's not finished. No, that will not do. Get rid of that. And the trees again. And the rain is also starting, but that's alright. Can we just go straight here? No. Okay, get me my fence back. Now, of course, we can only go so close to the building, so there it's going to have to curve out again. Should we put a little bit on the front, but that's now not going to work. This has to be deleted first. We don't have gates, of course, that... Should we even bother? No, we still have to connect this. It's not going to help. We don't have gates that allow roads through. We have to undo this again. Just so we get this thing looking nice. It's going to be a really long journey to finish this island, but could be interesting. That's now not the same distance from the building as on the other side. That's going to drive me nuts. Much better. Just go straight. Let's take the curvature out of this part. I like detail work, if you haven't noticed from my KSP videos. Yes, I think that'll do. At least it gives it a bit of a detail there. Now, how is this road going to go? No big roads here, I think, but first we still have the... Let's just see, the science center, is that going to be here as well? No. So what are we left with? The expedition center. You know, I'm sort of tempted to put the expedition center somewhere else, because since we're not using it for collecting fossils anymore, and it does have a helipad, we can imagine it's like the helipad in Jurassic Park, which is like the access for the VIP visitors. Nope, not gonna do that, thank you. So I think that's it. We're not gonna have anything more here, not for now. We can always tweak that later. So let's just complete this road. Actually, do I want fences in front of these? Maybe I do. Let me put them up. Well, there's no real purpose to this, but I think it makes it look a little bit more interesting. So now let me pave all of this paradise, I guess. Well, I think it does have potential. At least we have a bit of paving going on here, and now we can continue with some tree placement. I just put another fence around here just to help distinguish between the different buildings and so on, but of course nothing here in front of the ranger parking area. Let's just see, could I get a road a little bit closer to that? Probably not. It's very finicky at this point. I'm not sure if that's really the best thing to do. No, that's not going to work. Anyway, I'll come back to that a little later. Let's place some trees, although I think we first need some more fences around the security center. I think they'll be happy with that. Well, something of that nature. Let's place down some trees. I think that will make this area look a lot nicer than it is now. Of course, we can't do too much, not too much space available. But still a tiny little bit of shrubbery and all that always helps. Okay, let's see. Can we fit a tree in there? No. Maybe here? Yes, at least one there. And I'm not sure if we need this space for anything, so we'll just cover it up with some trees. And that's about all we can do in this area. So yes, not the most the prettiest area, but that's also alright. That's not the point exactly. It's a functional area. Now let's just remove these trees as well. This is going to be in the way for the access road, and that's really what will determine where the various enclosures start. Okay, can't go any further than that. So instead of having now another fence, a road, and then another fence, we'll just have the road and, of course, the enclosures. So I'm going to lay down the road all along the outside here. We know there's going to be an enclosure somewhere around there. So that will be the start of that. So let me place this down. Also, we have a need for a boundary of the utility area, so I'll put that up as well. Well, okay, here we can see the road that's now going to follow the back of the park here. I leveled things a little bit here. It's a little bit more elevated than the rest of the utility area, but that's alright. It'll be a nice gravel road going up the hill there. It'll be fun to drive that, but I'll keep that for later. Then, of course, some kind of like a fence or a gate here. Of course, again, we don't have a gate that can cross a road, but just some kind of a sense that this is now the access area to the utility part of the park. Now, what do I want to do? I guess we can just fill up this now with trees. I don't think there'll be anything else up here, even though this is now, again, a bit of wasted space. We'll see. Maybe there's a building or two that I want to place there. But this is definitely a very much a forest path there that leads towards the back of the enclosures, or at least this side. Now, what else do we need here? Oh yes, another contract came up. Build, connect and power an expedition center, and since we don't have that yet, that's a perfect thing to take on. So yes, let me think about this for a minute, comrades, and then I'll get back to you again. Okay, I think let's begin building the first enclosure. I just continued the road. Of course, it's a slightly different level there. It drops a little bit there in the jungle there. But this now nicely sort of outlines the area that I want to leave for the enclosure. Now, obviously now we can't build a bridge here. That would have been a really stunning thing to do with the main path going over the river there, or lake at least in this part. But we could just continue sort of water right there, so it almost looks like it's part of the same lake system, even though it's on a slightly higher level. I think that might look nice, so let's try that, just so we know which area to leave for the water. Now we can't go any further than that, so there we go, that's our guide. So now it's the fence time. It would be very interesting to put the fence relatively close to the path there. So this is going to be a light steel fence, just because I think we know it's going to be the Gallimimus and all the other small dinosaurs at this point. So let's just create a guideline for that. Now the terrain, I have to think about this a little bit. It's a very pensive process, or at least I take a very pensive approach to this kind of thing. Other people just slap down buildings all over the place, and that's what I did sort of before as well. Well, let's be honest, that is what I did before, but when it comes to making a series out of something, I want it to look a little bit nicer. So let me play around with this terrain for a moment here, just smooth it and get rid of some of this forest and all of that. Well, in this enclosure, I think that will probably be the case for most of the others. You know, this is starting to look nice now. Anyway, I would like to use the gyrosphere track, so I think we actually have to plan around that. Now, there's a bit of water there, interesting. Just get rid of that. So probably the track will follow the outer part of the enclosure. I'm not sure. Maybe we could have a bit of forest somewhere and then it passes through that. But for the Gallimimus, Struthiomimus and Archaeornithomimus, they usually, well, at least this is going to be so big it doesn't matter, but they probably want more the open grassland area. Actually, we could probably put the Hammond Creation Lab somewhere in the back here. Again, a little bit of hiding there, so it's not too obvious for the visitors. But of course, they might want to visit the Creation Lab as well and see how things work here. But now, how far should I take this? There's a lot of angles I have to consider. Let me skip ahead a little bit again. Well, here we have the outline, I think, of the enclosure. I might still tweak this a little bit. It does meet with the right angle here. I'm not sure if I'm happy with that. But I think we still have to leave a bit of room here for various shops and so on. Would actually be nice on the outer edge of the innovation center. But then, of course, now the access road comes all the way around here and then meets there at the gate. So it's going to be completely hidden away from the eyes of the visitors. And I think towards that end we can probably just put a lot of trees around here to also hide the back fence here. I think just again to create the sort of spectacle for the viewers. Since you're going to be looking from this side, at least it makes it a bit more unobtrusive, I think. Now, of course, we still have to be able to get through there with the jeeps. That might be a problem. Maybe if we just leave sort of a gap like that. Again, not too obvious that it's there, but I think that works. Now, I've got the Hammond Creation Lab up here, so it's completely surrounded by forest. We can just also connect this little gravel path right back to the main area. Even have it sort of split off here. That could look interesting. Something like that. Yes, I like that. Now, let me think. What's this whole place gonna look like? Also, I have to be careful because I noticed on Isla Sorna, I was building a very large enclosure there, and what happened was some of the dinosaurs would wander off and actually be so far away from their compatriots that they would riot because they were not getting their social needs met. So we have to be a bit more cautious of that, but this is, I think, a good size, and it's also a good shape because the other one that I was making on Isla Sorna was a very long shape. So let's see, let me tweak this a little bit. Well, okay, power is connected now. Of course, there's no getting around all the power lines. I might have to rethink this a little because I don't want the first thing people see when they look out of their hotel rooms to be power lines. Well, we'll have a look at that. Well, we've got power to the Hammond Creation Lab, so let's see what we can do here. Now, because the Struthiomimus and the Gallimimus and the Archaeornithomimus allow for larger populations, I think we should probably get one upgrade slot for the hatchery capacity. Especially once they start dying, then we'll need to replace them in relatively large numbers. Let's just have a look. Should we have 2 of the success rates? Incubation speed is not that important for them. They're very small. Just thinking, what is the success rate at the moment? Of course, it will depend on what modifications we make, but you can see with full modifications, it's 25% plus 30, then is 55. Not that great for the Archaeornithomimus. What about Gallimimus? Even worse. Struthiomimus should be easy. 50 plus 30, and I think, does this have all modifications? Yes, it's only 4. No, I think we should probably try and increase the success rate, even though money is not really a problem. We still don't want to be unnecessarily wasteful there. So, okay, that now places that in position. Let's just see, the whole fence is completed here. Now, of course, there's no one to witness any dinosaurs yet, but let's just create a couple just to get some life into this park. So Struthiomimus, at least 5 of each, but I think probably more. Now, what patterns are we going to have for this? Woodland. Let's start with the woodland. Then lifespan, of course. Brain aging is a good one. 22 added lifespan. I'm not going to worry about defense or attack here for them because they'll never need it. 27, no, cardio strength, that's the one. 27 lifespan. Resilience, we can add a lot more lifespan. Yes, I think immune response will have to be the one. And another lifespan. I don't like adding more than one of the same modification on a particular animal. I just don't think it fits thematically. I mean, how many brain agings can you get? Rapid metabolism, that's a good one. Hyper-efficient blood. Or even reaction speed. Now we've got immune response here, and we've got cardio strength there. We don't have brain aging yet. Yes, it's going to have to be that one. Okay, so let's create a few of them, and then I'll change the pattern again for the next batch. Okay, first release. Here we go.
Our job, no, our mission in raising these animals is to provide an environment for them to thrive. Your habitat is too small for them.
That can't possibly be true. You can see the grassland and woodland comfort levels are maxed out. So she's just blabbing. Let's release all the others and then start incubating the next group. I guess her comment was triggered by the fact that this little fenced area might seem a bit small if you don't account for the whole rest of it. But there we go. You're running so fast the camera can't even keep up. Okay, next batch. And we have our first disease while the second group is being incubated. So let's get the rangers on this. We don't have more than one team at the moment, but we don't need more. Let's drive this actually. This will be a good way to end off this episode. Just have a look at our park as it is at the moment. I like the appearance of this utility area. It's actually nice when you're seeing it from ground level. Now we take the back road through the jungle here. Unsafe velocities, but anyway. Brakes! Not that much. Don't drive into the gate. Right, oh dear, can't get through that tree. Can sort of squeeze in between there. Might have to remove some of those trees. Now, where's our patient? Greetings. Wait. I need to do this myself now. Good grief, can't see anything.
Eyes on the asset.
Ah,
Target.
horrific. How can that miss?
Nicely done. Treatment completed.
There we go. It's probably yes, the common cold. That's usually what these Struthiomimuses get. Right, so let's release the next batch. They have rainforest patterns. See what they look like. I haven't tried all the different combinations. That's actually very nice. I like that. Nice and vivid. Okay, next. No ladies and gentlemen to witness them yet. Now we're going to have like the second level right here. So this is all going to be... Should flatten this a bit more. Have a very clear distinction between the two different levels. Very finicky work this. Just have to be careful not to go too far. Well, I think that'll do for now, comrades. This episode has been long enough. At least we've made some progress. I think at this rate we will get somewhere. So yes, comrades, there's the rain now. I will see you next time and have a fantastic day. Hopefully this park turns out nice in the end. We'll see.